Hello, this is my recording for my um, week 5 module 2. I chose to look at the game framework module, which involves making a game out of whatever I choose, and one of the suggested ones was Pygame. And so I went online and I looked at ways to install that on my computer. I eventually went through my console and installed it through a pip package, and let me walk you through the code real quick. So first off, this is what the game looks like for now. All I could get done. So right now, all it is, it's not a full Snake game yet, but I have a green dot on the screen that I can move 1 pixel at a time. And there's not an automatic movement feature yet, and there's no fruit spawning in, even though I did begin on my fruit code. So as you can see, I can move this left, I can move it up, I can move it right, I can move it down with my arrow keys or my WASD keys. Okay, I'm going to exit out of that. So the way this works is first it imports the Pygame module onto Visual Studio Code, and the random module, which allows me to find a random integer between 0 and the width of the screen and 0 and the height of the screen. That plays a factor in allowing me to spawn in my green pixel, my snake, and my red pixel, which you can see I started on here. This class is the beginning of my Apple class. We'll ignore that for now, but I'll explain that in a moment. It initializes the Pygame, so it tells my computer, okay, we're going to run Pygame. This is the code that we're going to be using, and it's what opens up the console. When it opens up that extra console, as we saw, it sets the screen width and height, and then these are just presets to tell the rest of my code what they are. Like my screen width is, my screen width divided to -5, which is it's my entire screen halved -5 pixels. Okay, and then while this runs, the way Pygame works is if you say while run, or if you say, just put any while or for loop to run each frame of the code. So the rest of this, all of this runs every single frame. And the frames are set down here with time, which I set up here to be 0. But as the frames run, time is the clock on my computer, the internal clock on my computer, but it's going to run 1/6 of the speed. This would be every second. That would be 60 frames per second, but this is going to be 10 frames per second. So it's going to run this 10 times every second. Otherwise, I wouldn't quite get that pixely feel, because if I try to run this now at 60 frames, it looks more like this. It looks very, very smooth, very fluid, but I wanted that choppy feel, that retro feel. And this is a super, super simple game layout for being able to control an object in that space. If I haven't really given a way for the game to quit yet, but I will. But eventually that'll be able to let me quit. It fills the screen with black, so that background is black. And then any of the keys that I press, it will, every single frame it'll move it. So if I am pressing the right key or the D key on my keyboard, then it'll move it to the right by 300 pixels on my computer every single time I run this loop. And And yeah, that's pretty much my whole program right now.